Natural resources are resources that are created within nature in their original form, undisturbed by the actions of mankind. They are formed over many years without the help of humans and are used without modifications. Some of these natural resources in the diagram are animal resources, crude oil, forest resources, precious metals, minerals, and rocks, water resources, land resources, wind power and solar energy, and natural gas. If these resources were to run out at any time or be completely depleted, life on Earth would cease to exist. Our economy is built around these raw materials, natural resources like trees, gas, oil, metal ores, water, and fertile land. A small example is your smartphone. It likely contains cobalt from Africa, copper from Chile, aluminium from Australia, so on and so forth to China, where it's put all together too. This is just a small example because it's such a small device, and mass production of computers and other larger devices take up much more of these resources. So what really is overuse of natural resources? It's a situation where resource use has outpaced the sustainable capacity of the ecosystem. A prolonged pattern of overconsumption will lead to environmental degradation and the eventual loss of resources. Basically, after a resource is exploited to a certain point, it's classified as overconsumption. An alarming fact is, according to the World Wildlife Fund's Living Planet report, if humanity continues sucking up resources at its current rate, we will need a second planet to meet our material needs by 2030, and the equivalent of 2.8 planets by 2050. The significance of this topic is throughout history, humans have used their resources from their environment to aid their survival and to grow as a species. As humanity has grown, so has the demand of resources. With human populations always on the rise, society demands more and more resources all the time. Now more of every resource is needed and demanded by more and more people. We overproduce goods to gain a higher profit while not realizing that in doing so, we are overusing our resources to the breaking point. Another alarming fact is that if everyone lived like the average US citizen, we need around 4 Earths to sustain ourselves, according to the data produced by the Global Footprint Network. Why and how is it affecting the planet and humans? A fundamental effect of overconsumption is a reduction in the planet's carrying capacity. Excessive, unsustainable consumption will exceed the long-term carrying capacity of its environment, called ecological overshoot, and subsequent resource depletion, environmental degradation, and reduced ecosystem health. Yet another alarming fact is that the world is heading for an ecological credit crunch, far worse than the last financial crisis, because humans are overusing the natural resources of the planet. An international study warns. As a result, we are running up an ecological debt of $4 trillion to $4.5 trillion every year. That's double the estimated losses made by the world's financial institutions as a result of the credit crisis. How did this all begin? It started to emerge on an industrial scale in the 19th century as the extraction and processing of raw materials, such as in mining, steam-powered machinery, developed much further than it had in pre-industrial areas. As this diagram depicts, hunter-gatherer society had a per capita of 3 kilograms a day per person, and the industrial society grew to 44 kilograms per day per person of natural resources. Connection to Hinduism. An example is Prithvi. It's the dwelling place of beings, and this mantra translates to "O gentle and pleasing earth, be a thornless dwelling place for us, give us the joy which is wide and expansive." Another mantra translates to "sometimes we try to snatch the wealth of others, as dacoits do, and start to think our rights like others' money which is not earned by us. We think only to fulfill our needs and desires, but we don't think to make our proper efforts. Don't grab unjustly the wealth of any creature existing." And then these are just some other examples, like the Rig Veda, and this picture right here shows the Shantiniketan in West Bengal. Some complex solution to this issue is just it lies in long-term sustainability. Sustainable development means not only that humankind should satisfy its current needs without compromising the ability of future generations doing the same. It also comes the idea of societal progress and an increase in the quality of life. That's why an agenda for 2030 with 17 sustainable goals was adopted by the UN members in New York in 2015. The goals are listed over there. Some simple solutions. Well, what is the source of the problem? Climate change, isn't it? Different forms of pollution, isn't it? Deforestation, isn't it? But the cause of all these issues is all of us. So who threw those plastic bags on the ground? We did. Who was lazy to go use the trash can? We were. So the biggest issue are carelessness. But the simplest solutions you could possibly use are on that picture, and is to use your resources effectively, efficiently, and economically. This diagram shows the measures to curb the overexploitation of natural resources. But unfortunately, at this point in time, our I am what I buy culture is also a big obstacle. We also need circular economies that prioritize reusing, recycling, and repairing. Society is designing stuff to last longer, using our precious and limited natural resources more cleverly. How will it help human in the long terms? Some things that will help. If the solution is used, then wind energy would be beneficial. Solar energy would also be beneficial. Crop rotation, water efficient fixtures, green spaces, ethical investing. These are all long-term effects of what sustainability can branch out of. To conclude, let's all come together and change our habits and take every measure to promote sustainability in every walk of our lives, so that our Prithvi, the vast one, where we live, becomes Vasudha, bestowing great riches again, and it becomes a better place to live again for us and for our future generations. Also, the Rig Veda mantra also states, united be your purpose, harmonious be your feelings, collected be your mind. In the same way,